For this devlog, we are going to need a kill counter. Somebody is going to get hurt in the video.
I'm sorry.
I think I found the perfect mechanic for my game. It's this. At first, it just started out as an idea for a little trap that would smack Harry around the level, but holy moly, this turned into something so much bigger, and I think it changed the entire game. But I think we need to start from the beginning. If you're new to the channel, welcome! I'm Richie and I'm currently developing my first ever video game. It is called Keep Leapin, and it's a physics-based platformer with parkour elements and a strong emphasis on speed and skill expression. It's the kind of game you can really try to master and speedrun, or, you know, just enjoy casually while listening to a podcast. If that sounds like your type of game, then feel free to help me out by wishlisting Keep Leapin on Steam. You can find the link in the description of the video. The other day I was working on my Steam demo. In the first section of the demo level, I wanted to ease players in, giving them a chance to learn the core mechanics of the game while keeping the difficulty low. But then I asked myself, where's the fun with that? So why not introduce some pain? I remembered that a very long time ago I built the prototype for a new mechanic, but I never actually finished it, which is why it looks like this, and I called it the Pancakerizer, and here is what it does. It smacks you when you get too close, and I like that. Harry, probably not so much. One reason I like it so much is because if you remember from my last video, I actually started to make my own sound effects for the game. I'm now Harry's official voice actor. I realized that up until now, Harry was actually pretty silent for such a goofy looking thing. That is why I wanted to make Harry and the entire game feel a bit more alive. I made some contextual sound effects for when he's just jumping around, or when he's taking a really big leap. Now when something smacks him into a spike or shoots him across the level, you can really hear the desperation. Makes me sound like a horrible person. Anyways, this old prototype that I had actually reminded me of something that I encountered in another game that I was playing recently. You are poor and bald. Get to work. You are this dude who's just like rollerblading up a level. You're rollerblading on all fours, and at some point you start to encounter these little poles that smack you when you touch them. And I just really loved the idea and the visual design that they used for it, and I thought, why not make something similar? I think I pretty much just copied it and reversed the color scheme. I hope there's not like a patent on this mechanic. So then I wrote some code, I added some animation, and then I created a sound effect. Speaking of the sound effect, this is how I made it. Yeah, the duck didn't like this one so much. Creative vision of the game, what you gonna do? Anyways, I loved the result. But I wasn't done yet, because then my brain kicked into overdrive. And I realized that this mechanic could be so much more than just a way to make Harry's life more difficult. It had the potential to become a core building block of the entire game, because it fits naturally with so much that the game is already trying to do. Let me illustrate my point with 3 examples. First, as you have seen by now, yes, it can be used as an obstacle. The game needs obstacles, and so far the main type of obstacle that I have were these spikes. I do have some different implementations of the spikes, but at the end of the day it's always the same thing. If you touch it, you die. But with this new type of obstacle, the outcome is much more random. You might just be knocked back and have to start again, or maybe it even helps you gain momentum. Or, you know, you do end up flying into the spikes after all, but there is clearly more variety to the moment-to-moment gameplay. By the way, I don't really have a name yet for this new mechanic. I just call these things pushers. If you have a better suggestion, let me know in the comments. And while you're at it, if you want, you can shike, glare, and subscribe. The next point is the flow. I did not anticipate just how much this mechanic would help with the flow of the game. Keep Leapin is all about speed and momentum. You feel the best when you're moving, when you're fast, when you're connecting one mechanic to the other, when you're just zipping through the level. But I think there is still a lot of downtime here and there. Just see how in this level with all these regular flat walls, the player just kind of loses all momentum. Let's swap out this rigid wall with the newly introduced pushers. Watch how it all plays out so much more dynamic. This is where this new mechanic shines. It turns these moments of boring downtime, these moments of frustration and struggling into something a bit more goofy, more unpredictable. It is fun, even though it is still a punishment. I mean, it kind of feels nice to smack into these things. Well, more for us than for you, of course. And speaking of punishment, why just use it as a punishment when you can also use it to the benefit of players? Which brings us to the last example, full integration. This mechanic can be used with every other mechanic in the game. Because these pushers directly influence the player's momentum, it is easy to integrate them with the game's other traversal mechanics, since those too are driven by momentum and physics. I just know that this is going to allow for some ridiculously awesome level design. This new mechanic allows the game to have so much more options. And I was actually so happy when I found this mechanic. Basically, all of these mechanics, they just designed themselves. This is the thing that I really... These are the moments that I love so much. This is what game development is all about for me. Unfortunately, it also leads to me kinda not really progressing as much as I want on the game. Not too long ago, I wrote in my Discord, I was like, guys, the game now has enough features. I'm done. I'm done looking for the new cool next mechanic. Let's finish this thing. Yeah, sorry. I just love working on this game, man. And I don't know if it's a wise thing to keep working on it because the game is probably going to flop really hard. It has like 150 wish lists so far. That might sound a lot if you're not a game developer, but in order to just have an actual chance when you release your game, you need to have wish lists somewhere between 7 and 11,000. That's why if you like what you see here, you would really help me out if you wishlist the game. That's all for today. See you in the next one. Oh, wasn't too bad. You only died 11 times in the video, Harry.